Where do I even start with this movie? I went into Josee the Tiger and the Fish with high expectations when it first came out, because I heard it being compared to A Silent Voice, my favorite anime film of all time. I was told I should be prepared for tears, and lots of them. And yeah, there were tears. How did I have such a different experience? Well, I'm glad you asked. Suneo is a 22-year-old university student studying marine biology. He's self-sufficient, kind, he has goals, and gives the immediate impression of being a likable protagonist for the story. Kumiko, who prefers to be called Josee, is a 24-year-old paraplegic artist who feels trapped in her current life and so acts out. Suneo receives a job offer from Josee's grandmother, Shizu, to become a caretaker for Josee, which he begins to regret due to her prickly attitude. The story has a very promising premise and a great start. Immediately, the animation and cinematography, something I don't often think about so consciously when it comes to anime, is captivating. The soundtrack is also memorable, fitting really well with the emotional beats of the story. Suneo being so good-natured and patient while Josee is abrasive and hateful, intentionally trying to scare him away, it's a good contrasting relationship that makes me ask questions about the both of them. Josee's grandmother has taken away her agency, restricting her time outside, where she could make friends, get a job, and have new experiences. It's to the point where her grandmother is having meetings about her future without her even present. And seeing this made me want to sympathize with Josee. She keeps demanding to be taken outside against her grandmother's wishes, and wants more than anything to taste the ocean. Something so simple that many take for granted they even have the option to do. The scene where Suneo enters her room, revealing imaginative landscapes all over the walls, a glimpse into her inner world, shows that she only knows how to express her feelings with art. Clearly, there's more to her than her outward prickliness, and either out of sympathy or curiosity, Suneo agrees to take her to the ocean. The ocean scene is gorgeous not only visually but thematically. Josee is vulnerable for the first time in the story, and the two of them have a genuinely cute bonding moment. But that is where most of the positive things I have to say end. The scene where Suneo and Josee meet and she bites him for saving her immediately is a bad first impression that threatens the believability of the story, as I'm reminded, oh yeah, that is a trope. I guess she's supposed to be disagreeable in the beginning, but let's not forget that she is 24 years old. Later, there's also an implied nut grab on Suneo by the grandma. Why are we acting like this is normal? The direction of the story would not be changed if these moments were removed, so why not remove them? Next up, I've mentioned how there is justification and explanation for Josee's tsundere behavior, but her immaturity gets annoying fast. Lack of communication or misunderstandings is a big pet peeve for me in anime romance. Josee says things like, "You don't understand!" during her outburst, basically guilt-tripping him for being able to walk. When he's not presuming to understand what being a paraplegic is like, all he did was give a few general encouraging words. She gets jealous when she sees him talking to his female coworker, isn't self-aware enough to realize that's what's happening, and instead of communicating why she's upset or what she needs, she shuts him out again. Besides the fact that Suneo is being paid to be her caretaker, of course, their developing relationship just seems really one-sided to me.
Oh God, I'm in love. With your artwork.
All this character knows how to do in the beginning of the story is depend on others. Suneo treats her with much more respect and consideration than anyone else apparently has in her life, so it makes sense why that means a lot to her and why she starts to care for him. But I don't see signs of Suneo returning those feelings until way later. Their relationship is more than passable as a distantly platonic one. I'm aware it's meant to be romantic, but man, if anyone treated me like Josee treats Suneo, I just can't believe he would fall for someone 2 years older than him who acts 10 years younger. The death of Josee's grandmother is a major turning point, and even though it's much more understandable since she's grieving an important person in her life, Josee's lack of communication with him becomes more apparent, and he's left worrying about her well-being while all she says is, "I can't pay you to be my caretaker anymore." I think maybe Josee is treated like a child and therefore acts like one. She acts out because of the lack of control she has over her own life. After her grandmother's death and Suneo's accident, Josee does work to improve herself and become independent until she no longer needs Suneo. But that doesn't change how annoying most of her character arc is to watch. So here's a couple ideas about how this could be fixed. More context and background on why Josee behaves the way she does would be a good start. I have no idea if she's behaved this way all her life or if it started with the death of her parents. I don't know if Josee and her grandmother used to be close. I don't know if she's tried to confront her grandmother about the way she's treated. Is the prickliness really a result of something that's happened in her life, or is it her nature until she meets Suneo? In general, a small glimpse into the past protagonist would have helped. Because the bare minimum is for an audience to sympathize with your character, and I was struggling with that. The goal, if this is your protagonist, or one of your protagonists, is for the audience to like them, even through their faults and worst moments. Using Saneo, the other protagonist, as more of a foil for Josee would have made them both more likable characters. The movie is too focused on Josee's flaws, but Saneo, get this, isn't flawed enough. And he only needs help near the end of the movie when he's depressed and angry about losing the ability to walk. Feeling hopeless about a major injury to yourself is not the same as a character flaw. Both of them being imperfect people figuring themselves out from the beginning would have made the relationship feel less one-sided. Here's an example. Saneo's parents are divorced. This could make him afraid of commitment or of being tied down, and so he hides his romantic feelings and pushes Josee away. Josee could actually communicate the fact that she's jealous of Saneo's coworker, leading to him having an outburst about how clingy or needy she is and regretting it after. I don't know, anything where she tries to close distance between them instead of create it. And then we see cracks in his calm, reliable demeanor. Character motives in this movie come across as shallow. Back to the grandmother for a second, I did get the sense that she worried about how Josee would do once she was gone, and intentionally hired Saneo so he would become a support system for her. It's interesting how she seems to trust him with her granddaughter and not the rest of the world. I wondered if more would be revealed about the trauma that explains why she refers to people as beasts. Instead, it comes across that she treats her granddaughter like an invalid simply because she's disabled, and therefore incapable in her eyes. Another side character, why is Saneo's coworker the way that she is? She has so little impact on the story, I don't even care what her name is. When pushing Saneo in his wheelchair after the accident, she's all like, "I'm here to support you, so say whatever's on your mind." Yeah, thanks for checking in actually, because I'm depressed, unsure of my future, and afraid of never accomplishing my life's goals. I'm in love with you! Wow, great listening! He's in possibly the most stressful period of his life, and you've decided to place even more of an emotional burden onto him. Her being in love with him, therefore mean to Josee, doesn't serve the plot much at all. Yet, I get the sense she's still supposed to be seen as likable and relatable by the end. Like, we're supposed to feel sorry for her because she had good intentions. One thing that can be done to fix this is removing her unrequited love from the movie altogether. She only thinks of Saneo as a friend, and only wants to help him through a rough time, but Josee sees it differently. Another option is to lean into it and make her more of an antagonist. Maybe she's Saneo's girlfriend and she mistreats him until Josee intervenes. Either make her have more of a significant impact on the story or remove her. And finally, why is Saneo's accident so funny? Saneo getting injured in a car accident in the rain after an argument with her caused by her being unreasonable and immature again? Him just being a decent guy trying to convince her not to give up on her dreams, which then leads to his dreams in jeopardy. The accident and the reveal that Saneo will have to use a wheelchair just scream, "Be sad! You don't need build-up, they're in wheelchairs, that's bad enough!" Seems like a plot convenience. Just like the end scene where Josee still ends up in helpless peril, free-falling down the same hill from the beginning and needing to be saved yet again. To me, thematically, it undoes her hard work to overcome her incapability and reliance on others. Josee, the tiger, and the fish is disappointing and melodramatic. If you enjoyed it, that's awesome. But personally, I strongly contest its comparison to A Silent Voice. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.